Hey everybody, Natalia here. I've been thinking long and hard about what I wanted to share with you tonight, and a thought came to mind. A thought about an interesting fact that even today, in 2022, in the world where we have so much access to information, advancements in science and technology, and we see miracles and extraordinary achievements by people from every walk of life. And yet still, so many of us, especially women, live in fear and doubt. And we don't consider ourselves worthy, or we think that we have to always choose one or the other, especially those of us who are moms. And another thought occurred to me. I grew up in Slovakia, and when I was growing up, we were growing up in what was called a socialist system. And say what you might about its limitations, no system is perfect because people aren't perfect, and people create systems, and then people get into habits or patterns or get seduced by human things like power and greed and envy. So no system is perfect, but there's something about the system where I grew up that was great. And that was that growing up, I never felt deprived or treated as a second-class citizen because I was a girl. Never. See, in that regard, the socialist system, it was way more just and way more equal and fair towards men or women. My experience of being a woman and being treated differently I didn't see that until I came here into the United States. And I first noticed that when I was in a restaurant on a date, and the waiter wouldn't address me directly. He addressed the man I was with and asked him what I would order or what I was going to order. And that really irked me. First of all, because I thought it was ridiculous and I didn't grow up with that. And so it was a very new and very strange experience. So I want to tell you, ladies, women, mothers, that you are extraordinary. You are a spiritual being living a human experience. There are two sides to all of our natures. We have the infinite side to us. That's our spirit, our true self, which is flawless, perfect, limitless, unstoppable. It has access to answers to every single question and a solution to any problem that you might face. And then there's part of us that is living this human experience. You see, for our spirit to exist and experience this material three-dimensional world where we live, we require a human body. So our human life is finite. It has a birth date and it has a departure date, which isn't known to any of us. But it's the human side of us that is trapped in the three-dimensional world of senses that can get tangled up and lost in the limitations of what our physical senses can perceive. But I want to remind you that you are more than that. You are not your body. You are living in a body. You are a spirit. You have a body in order for you to exist and experience the wonderful things that this physical world has to offer. See, the way we connect with our higher self, with our spirit, in the moment where we can access the knowledge that is not of this world, but we all can access, is through our breath. So when you find yourself in a situation where fear and doubts rise up and you notice the constriction and feeling, that kind of feeling where you're feeling small and limited, and the problems you're experiencing or circumstances and situations feel overwhelming, just pause yourself and remember that you're more than that. You're a spirit. And just take a breath. Now, it's a special kind of breath. You breathe in through your nose, and then you breathe out through your mouth slowly, as if you were blowing the air through a straw, like this. And you do that 2, 3, 4 times, maybe a whole minute or two if you need to. Depends on how intense the emotion is that you find yourself in. But see, what happens is when you're feeling fear or doubt or that restriction, what happens is you activate your sympathetic nervous system, which is the basically the primitive nervous system that turns on, releases stress hormones into your body. It's a flight, fight, or freeze nervous system that helps us survive. It was necessary in the days when we lived in where the danger could be lurking around every corner. But nowadays, when we find ourselves in a situation that's uncomfortable or new or scary, our nervous system responds the same way. So the calming, slow breaths will help recalibrate and signal to your brain and your nervous system to switch over to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest, digest, and create. In other words, it signals to your body and your brain that you're not in danger, that you are fine, right? I mean, you can't really run when you're breathing slowly, like through a straw, right? So that's an important signal. And it's the one little tip that I can share with you that you can use in a situation when you find yourself, letting stress getting the better of you. And before I close today, I don't know if you're familiar with Marianne Williamson, but I came across this poem when I watched a movie about Coach Carter, which was wonderful, by the way. So I want to leave you with this poem because I want you to remember that you are incredibly powerful being, and there's nothing that can stop or limit you except your own thoughts and the limiting stories that you chose to believe in the past. And the good news is you can choose to stop believing those stories. You can transform them into much more empowering, positive stories that give you confidence, courage, and boldness you need to take this step and to create the extraordinary life that you are meant to live in this lifetime. So here's the poem, and it's called Our Deepest Fear. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve this world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson. If you haven't heard this poem, look it up, print it out, put it on your wall, and whenever you feel doubt or fear creeping in, read this poem to remind you that you are a child of God and you are powerful beyond measure. And it is your responsibility to shine your gifts and light and serve people in this world. And by being and shining your brightest, you will inspire others to do the same. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.